Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squad for boxing news and views from around the internet. And a heavyweight news mashup video today, starting with Deontay Wilder, who's been teasing in recent days that something big was coming. And that something is an official promo video for his upcoming fight with Luis Ortiz on November 23rd. So I won't play it, but you can see here this is on his social media and it's on his other channels as well. You can go check that out. But of that, because there has been some comments that have come out from Wilder, an official press release giving an update on camp, but also that promo. So I'll start with the promo first. So Wilder says, for it to air on Thursday Night Football with millions of people watching is a great thing for the promotion. It means the world to me to give the fans this kind of excitement leading up to the fight. I'm very grateful for where I am in my career, and I can't wait to take advantage of this opportunity. Even with the big fight commitments, this is the press release here, Wilder has flourished during training camp in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, as he prepares to be primed for when the first bell rings on November 23. So of his training camp, Deontay Wilder says camp has been going amazing. I haven't reached my full potential or peaked in camp yet. We're still pressing and everything is moving smoothly on schedule. I'm feeling good and I'm looking good as well. I'm working on throwing a lot of jabs and countering. I know Ortiz likes to counter as well. I've been in there with him before. I understand what he wants to do and I can recognize certain weaknesses we're looking to exploit. It's going to be a good fight while it lasts. Everyone knows what to expect from Deontay Wilder. I don't have time to play games and I don't get paid for overtime. And then he goes on to talk about some of the conditioning work that he's been doing, in particular incorporating swimming and scuba diving into his conditioning program, saying, for those who don't know, I'm a certified scuba diver. And you can see here on screen, here's a couple of different snaps that have come out from Wilder's training camp, some of the stuff that he's been doing. So he goes on saying, I enjoy it and I've been doing it for a few years now. It gives me relaxation and helps keep pressure off the muscles in my body. It helps my body tremendously. It's also strengthening my legs and expanding my lungs so that I have more stamina. Water is great for exercise and I love it. Deontay Wilder talking about some of his conditioning routine, which includes scuba diving and swimming. And this fight on November 23rd, the heavy favourite heading into it is Deontay Wilder facing a guy he's already beaten. But interestingly, they're talking about working the jab more and looking to counter. In that first fight, Luis Ortiz was really playing a sort of risky sort of game. He was looking to punch with Wilder, trying to time Wilder as Wilder was punching. So it was a high risk strategy, but it did pay off at times in that first fight. He did manage to hurt Wilder in that 7th round, and Wilder was in all sorts of trouble, but managed to see out the round. Luis Ortiz ultimately getting knocked out. And I do think that Deontay Wilder, in my opinion, will be better prepared for Luis Ortiz. He does know what to expect to some extent, but can the wily old veteran Luis Ortiz, 40 years old now, 18 months removed from that loss to Wilder back in 2018, can he actually mix it up and show something Wilder, something different? I guess that's the big question, because if it's more of the same from the first fight, well then maybe Deontay Wilder may have the edge over Luis Ortiz. The WBC has confirmed Dillian Whyte as the #1 contender at its WBC convention in Cancun, Mexico. So you can see here on screen, this is a tweet from Erica Montoya. I've actually tried to find the full 15. It hasn't been updated on the WBC website, but of the top 5, you can see Dillian Whyte confirmed at #1, Tyson Fury #2, Luis Ortiz #3, Alexander Usyk, the freshly minted heavyweight, having beaten Chaz Witherspoon recently, moving up from cruiserweight where he dominated the division. He is now inserted at #4. And Oscar Rivas, he is also bumped up a number of places into #5 spot. And just on that, so Rivas, he was actually at the convention. So this is another tweet from another reporter who says Oscar Rivas make his case in front of the WBC Cancun 57 Rating Commission. It's the 57th convention for the WBC. So he was putting his case to the Ratings Commission that he should be higher up in the rankings. Olympics. And his promoter, as you can see here, Yvonne Michel, this is also from the same reporter, saying that Whyte, with that Whyte controversy, taking into consideration what happened with Whyte test, Rivas should be in #1 position. That was the position of Yvonne Michel, Oscar Rivas's promoter. And just at that convention, the WBC has reaffirmed its position on boxers fighting at the Olympics. A number of heavyweights have been toying with the idea of going to the Olympics. Andy Ruiz Jr. briefly flirted with the idea before changing his mind, but we do know that the Uzbek prospect Bakodir Jalolov, who recently won gold at the amateur championships, he's got half a dozen or so pro fights under his belt. He is looking to go to the Olympics, but the WBC is saying here in its statement, anyone who goes to the Tokyo Olympics will face a winter of discontent, plus 2 more seasons out in the cold. And then goes on to say, concerning those pros who fight amateurs in the Tokyo Olympics, Mauricio stressed, that's Mauricio Suleiman, WBC president, well, they simply expelled from WBC activity for 2 years. And this follows the same line that they took after the Rio Olympics, where they said the same thing. So just reaffirming something that they're holding to. Moving to one of the fights for the weekend, Frank Sanchez and Jack Mulowayi have gone face-to-face ahead of their fight on the card that is headlined by Nathaniel Gallimore and Erickson Lubin. So Sanchez, a late replacement opponent for Ahio Joseph, who himself had only been confirmed a week or 2 out from the fight. He pulled out injured. Sanchez steps in. He's unbeaten, 13-0. He says, I'm always in shape. I was ready for a fight coming up when I got the call to step in to face Mulowayi. We kicked it into overdrive once the fight was set, and we're ready for this fight. I'm ready to put on a spectacular performance. I know how my opponent moves and how he fights. I want to prove that I'm the future of this division. I want all the heavyweights who watch this fight to know that Frank Sanchez is here. And if you don't know who Frank Sanchez Faure is, he is actually a fighter out of Cuba, 27 years old, but he is one of the oldest 27-year-olds I've ever seen, I must admit. But for Mulloway, he is saying, it feels good to be back in the States. I was last here playing basketball, but I had to quit because of an injury. It feels great to be here for boxing. Training camp went very well. I was prepared to fight Ahio Joseph, and I wish him all the best with his recovery. I hope I still get a chance to fight him too. I also want to thank Sanchez for taking this fight on short notice so that we can give the fans a great show. I know he's a Cuban fighter and they have a lot of skills. I'm ready for him and I'm here to make a statement. That's Jack Mulloway. I think for most people, Sanchez, the known fighter, probably the favourite heading into this one. Not too much known about Mulloway. He hasn't been fighting at any real level, but we shall see come the weekend. That is a televised fight. Moving on, Junior Farr has confirmed that he will be fighting on November 15th in Salt Lake City in Utah. So I previously reported this had been looking like it was going to be the case, was listed up on BoxRec. So this has now come out with a promo poster. So Junior Farr set to be the main event, and fellow New Zealand prospect Hemi Ahio, who's 15-0 undefeated. Farr is undefeated as well, but Ahio will be the co-main event. So the opponents are still to be confirmed for this Lou DiBella promoted card. There has been one report that suggested that Devin Vargas may be Farr's opponent. But just on Hemi Ahio, so he has actually signed with Lou DiBella. So I'll just play this little clip for you.
Here we go. Hemi.
Right here?
Yeah, yeah. Just hold it up, brother.
There you go, DiBella, I'm coming after you. And everyone else. Yeah, thank you.
And rounding out this heavyweight news mashup video, we have Joseph Parker here in this clip, clearly embracing the whole spider bite that he was recently suspected of having. Having t-shirts made, wearing one here in this training clip. We'll have to see if there's any improved performance in his next fight. When that will be, we don't know. His promoter, Eddie Hearn, has recently said there may not be a card for Parker to get on in 2019, but we shall see. Watch the space. But Parker clearly embracing the idea of the spider bite, getting t-shirts printed. What do you make of it all? Drop a comment, loud and often. Hit like, hit subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, boxing_squared. I'm out.